Good morning and Jai Hind children. Today's our topic is multiplication of integers. For the multiplication of integers, we are starting with properties of multiplication of integers. So let's get started. As you can see that there are basically 7 properties for the multiplication of integers. So we are starting first with closure law. What actually closure law is? That closure law simply tells us that if we multiply any two integers and we get the answer which is again an integer, then we say that the integers are closed under multiplication. Let's have an example. If minus 7 is an integer and if we multiply this with another integer, let it be 3. Minus 7 into 3 gives us the result as minus 21. Since minus 21 is an integer, so we will say that integers are closed under multiplication. Now, let's have a look at the second property of the multiplication of integers, which is associative law. Associative law tells us that if we multiply two integers, let them be a and b, and then we multiply the result with any third integer c, then it will make no effect if we multiply first b and c and then we multiply the result to the integer a. Let's have a look with the example. If a equals 7, b equals 3 and c equals, let it be 2. So if we look at the left hand side, which is a into b into the bracket, then into c, it gives us 7 into 3 into 2. This gives us 7 3s are 21 into 2. This gives us the result 42. And if we look at the right hand side, it is a into b into c, that is 7 into the bracket 3 into 2. As we know, 3 2s gives us 6. So 7 into 6, again the result is 42. So either we multiply a into b into the bracket, then we multiply the result to the c, gives us the answer 42. Or we multiply b and c first and then we multiply the result with the number a. As you can see with this example, again we get the answer 42. Since left hand side is equal to the right hand side of the equation, we will say that the associative law holds good under the multiplication of integers. Now coming to the third property, which is commutative law. Commutative law simply gives us that if we change the order of multiplication of any two integers, then it does not make any change in the result. That means that a into b will be equal to b into a. We can check this with a simple example. If a is 4 and b is 2, 4 2s gives us the result 8. Or if b is 2 and a is 4 again, 4 2s is equals to 8 and 2 4s also gives us 8. Since here again the LHS is equal to RHS, so we will say that the commutative law holds good under the multiplication of integers. Now coming to the distributor. Distributive law means that if we have to multiply any integer a with the sum of numbers b and c, then the result will be a multiplied to b added to a multiplied to the number c. This is the distributive law. We can check this with the example. If a equals 6, b equals 4 and c equals 2. if we go to the LHS first, so LHS gives us 6 into 4 plus 2, that is 6 into 6, gives us the answer 36. And if we go to the RHS, then it gives us 6 into 4 plus 6 into 2. Now please say 6 4s are, that gives us 24, plus 6 2s are, that gives us 12. 24 plus 12, on adding we again get the number 36. Since again the LHS is equal to the RHS, that is in the both cases A into B plus C, all we do A into B plus A into C, we get the same result 36. So we will say that the distributive law holds good under the multiplication of integers. Now, our fifth property is existence of identity. What the existence of identity is? It actually means that if we multiply any integer to any other integer and it does not change its value, then we say that that is the identity with respect to the multiplication. As we know that for the multiplication of the integers, the identity is the number 1, because whenever we multiply the number 1 to any integer, it does not change its value. Like suppose 6 into 1, again we get the answer 6. 10 into 1, we again get the answer 10. Minus 6 into 1, we again get the answer minus 6. So clearly the existence of identity under the multiplication of integers is 1. Now coming to the next topic, which is existence of inverse. We also call it multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse of any integer is simply the reciprocal of that number. Like suppose if 6 is any integer, so its inverse will be 1 upon 6. If minus 2 is any integer, so its multiplicative inverse will be 1 upon minus 2. Since in standard form we do not write the negative number sign in the denominator, so we will write it as or minus 1 upon 2. Now coming to our last topic, which is law of 0. 0 has a very specific property when it comes to the multiplication of integers, as doesn't matter how huge any integer is, whenever you will multiply it to the number 0, the entire result shrinks into 0. So law of 0 is that whenever you multiply any integer with 0, you will get the answer 0 only. Now if we are coming to multiply any two integers, then we must take in mind some formulas, which are as if we multiply a positive integer to a positive integer, the answer is again an positive integer. If we multiply any positive integer to any negative integer, then we get negative integer as our answer. When we multiply any negative integer to any positive integer, we get the answer again as the negative integer. But when we multiply any negative integer to again any negative integer, the answer is again a positive integer. Let's have have a look at the examples. Okay, let's take any number. If we are taking the first example, 6 into 3 gives us the result 18. 6 is a positive integer, 3 is again a positive integer, and multiply is again a positive integer. Now let's have a look at the third one. Negative into positive gives us negative. So if minus 3 is any negative integer and 6 is any positive integer, so what we do, first we multiply sign to the sign. Its sign is negative and the 6 has the sign positive. Negative into positive gives us negative. So negative into positive here gives us the negative sign. Now 3 6 are 18. In this case we got the value negative. With this I am finishing my topic. I hope you have understood the concept very well. Your homework for today is NCERT book exercise 1.3. Please try to solve question number 1, 2, 3 and 4. If any doubt, please consult. Thank you.